when you got two guys like this in both with that killer attitude, it's going to be a great fight.
Stephen A's question seemed to speak only to the quality of the competition, not also to the business of boxing.
Floyd would be more involved with the fighting aspect. Like, all right, let me come train. Let's train together. Let's do this. Like,
yeah, I think it is. It can come and, bro, I appreciate anything that man even reaching out and all the game that he done gave me so far. That's the goal. Nobody can tell no different about that dude. So he the GOAT.
Nah, for sure.
Floyd Mayweather and Max Kellerman discussed the matchup between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, praising Shakur's skill and labeling him as potential future undisputed champion material.
With lots of thrills through the years, excellent top fighter, but not a guy who someone looked at, like you say, maybe Tank has the potential to be #1 pound.
Floyd says that while boxing has many exciting fights, true success comes from professional discussions and formal agreements.
And I talked about this the other day as far as so many belts, so many champions, but if we can sit down and come to the table.
Max Kellerman breaks down the matchup thoughtfully, calling it a smart business move with the potential to generate huge pay-per-view revenue.
Following him.
That's what I'm asking. You've been the best at playing the boxing game. When you said TBE, in the ring, someone else can have that. I'm talking about the whole thing. You're right. You played the boxing game better than anyone. The way you think about it, which is a lot of times the way promoters think about it, is not just in terms of the quality of the athlete. Obviously, Santa Cruz is high quality.
Shakur reveals that Floyd personally reached out to him, offering guidance on skills, defensive positioning, and techniques to enhance his overall boxing intelligence.
The guy that's made the most fucking money, Floyd Mayweather, I feel like he be showing you love. Like,
that's my God. That's my God, bro.
Look, I saw
he called me that today. He just called me that today. He called me, what, 2 days ago?
What'd he say?
He had a whole lot to say. I don't like to put it like...
I give me a little something. You ain't gotta say the whole shit, but it's Floyd, nigga. You know niggas, nigga Dolph, he's an idol. Floyd.
One night he was just saying he don't think that I should be the B side of this. But his upcoming fight. And he think I should be the A side. And he really felt strongly about it, but no, it is what it is, bro. I appreciate Floyd. That's my guy. I wouldn't even never say nothing bad about Floyd.
Yeah.
But also, bro, A, B, C, D, E. Put me in that ring with that nigga, man.
Whatever, right? Whatever.
Put me in the ring, bro, and I'm ready to show who I am, bro. So that's how.
Many believe Shakur shouldn't wait any longer and should challenge Devin Haney immediately, proving himself against elite competition without any excuses.
Shakur Stevenson want to keep that momentum and daring to be great, enhancing his greatness. We all know he's motivated and inspired by his mentor, Terrence Bud Crawford, that his next fight should be versus Devin the Dream Haney, moving up to the 147-pound division, because with that victory, it will become a 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion, because I'm sure that Turkey Al Sheikh Ring will put that fight, will put the ring belt on the line, because I believe that Devin Haney is probably the best welterweight at the moment. He'll accomplish all of that by the age of 29. 5-division world champion, 3-division lineal champion. Come on now. Hey, Shakur Stevenson, you the WBO champion, 140-pound division. You could easily petition the WBO to make you the immediate mandatory to Devin the Dream Haney. I think that's the best fight right there. Let me know what y'all think.
Roy Jones Jr. praises Shakur's footwork, speed, and strategy, saying his intelligent movement and tactical planning set him apart from others.
Strictly just to try to piss Shakur off so that maybe Shakur would come out and try to land a big shot on him. He knew that was his only chance. And I knew that was his only chance. So if Shakur came out and went right at him like that, that would have gave him a chance to try to land something big and lucky. Other than that, he's never had the feet to keep up with to keep up with Shakur, because Shakur has some of the best feet in the game, and people don't understand that. What makes it so hard is that his foot game is so on point that he can make you miss this much. Because now, used to be he would jump way back. Now he's not doing that anymore. Now he's just stepping back just enough to make you miss, so he can get what he wants after you miss. That makes him highly dangerous, and to see him improve on that and come bring it to the forefront in the biggest fight of his career is great. But I want to say something.
Mickey Bay speaks calmly about the potential Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney fight, focusing on realistic advantages rather than hype. He explains that Devin could move up comfortably and handle the moment with confidence, as his experience has already prepared him for big stages. According to Bay, size is the only real concern Devin might face, since Shakur is naturally smaller but extremely quick and precise with his timing. That speed difference could actually work in Devin's favor, as smaller fighters often rely on movement rather than strength.
So it's like maybe something that Devin can definitely go up there with ease, only need to deal with the size, but he's probably going to have the speed advantage because he's a smaller guy coming up. So, I mean, you tell me, do you feel like that's going to be harder than the Lomachenko fight?
No. I think Loma probably be his hardest top 2 or 3 fights in his whole career. I could predict that even going to the end, to say if Devin fight 8, 9, 10 more years, that'd be one of his top 2 or 3 hardest fights because the age that he fought him. Loma was at his very peak. He was at his peak. He was older. He was right there at his...
When comparing opponents, Bay believes the Lomachenko fight was far tougher than a potential Stevenson matchup. He explains that Lomachenko faced Devin at his peak, with elite skills and veteran instincts, making it one of the hardest tests of Devin's career. In contrast, Bay feels Shakur would pose challenges, but not at the same level of difficulty or physical maturity. He also notes that Devin recently competed at lightweight, so the size gap shouldn't feel overwhelming. Most importantly, Bay respects Devin's mindset, describing him as a fighter who genuinely seeks greatness and takes on risky fights without hesitation. Bay even mentions that Bill Haney asked his opinion on the matchup, and he openly supported making it happen.
So, no, it won't be as hard as that. But size-wise, yeah, that's a big factor because we saying the dude that was just lightweight a couple years ago. But, Dad wanted to be great. That's just something that's in him. It's only a few dudes like that in boxing right now that really want to do that kind of stuff. So, he got my blessing in making the fight. Like, Bill did ask me about it maybe a couple weeks ago. I don't know how much further it got, but he did ask me what I thought. Easy work.
Pretty much, you can see he's willing to fight anybody. Like, he doesn't really care who he fights.
He'll fight now too. It ain't we ain't doing no weight class or none of that.
Analysts say the rising tension between Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Keyshawn Davis has created one of the most intriguing storylines in the lightweight and junior welterweight divisions. Devin Haney is widely respected as a disciplined fighter, known for his sharp jab, ring IQ, and composure under pressure. However, confidence is high on both sides, as Shakur also believes his skills are superior and that he would outbox Haney when the moment comes. Their ongoing back and forth has only heightened anticipation.
Haney is a tremendous fighter, but obviously he believes in himself and that he will beat Devin Haney. To that, Devin Haney responded, "I believe you're a tremendous fighter, but I'll beat you." And then Devin Haney stated, "Well, I want to fight your little brother, who is Keyshawn Davis, superstar, WBO former lightweight world champion, who called out Devin Haney and stated because he didn't like how Devin Haney treated him when they was younger, when Shakur brought him around, so on and so forth." So Devin Haney said, "You know something? I want to fight Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn, let's make it happen. And then you're the little brother," because Shakur and Keyshawn made it abundantly clear they have no interest in fighting each other because of their relationship, although they're not blood brothers.
What makes the situation even more interesting is Haney calling out Keyshawn Davis first. Analysts see this as both a strategic and personal move. Davis, a former champion with rising star power, reportedly carries some tension from the past, adding emotion to the matchup. Since Shakur and Keyshawn share a close bond and have no interest in fighting each other, Haney targeting the younger brother creates a layered storyline that could naturally lead to a showdown with Shakur afterward. From a business and competitive standpoint, experts note that Haney has consistently shown a willingness to negotiate fair terms. The only sticking point remains the rehydration clause. With both camps confident and exchanging subtle warnings, analysts agree that skill will ultimately decide everything. If these fights happen, fans could witness a defining chapter in modern boxing.
Storyline. So now Shakur puts up a cryptic message and responds and says, "Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it." Well, remember, Devin Haney made an offer when he was at 135 to stay at 135 to fight Shakur. Shakur didn't like the offer, which means Devin Haney's more than willing to make the fight. Devin Haney is saying, if you want to make the fight, his father, trainer, manager, Bill Haney, CEO of DHP, Devin Haney Promotions, is saying, we'll make the fight gladly, but we're not doing a 10-pound rehydration clause. So Shakur is saying, be careful what you wish for. Skills pay the bills, as Shakur said. And Shakur said he don't like people putting rehydration clause on people because it handicaps them and you can't get credit. Well, then he says on Najee with Cigar Talk, and Devin Haney's not unalive.
Roy Jones Jr. analyzes the potential Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis matchup, paying close attention to timing, weight, and overall readiness. He notes that weight management appears to be a factor for both fighters and suggests a catchweight around 143 or 144 pounds to make the bout more balanced and competitive. From his perspective, Devin holds the advantage in tools, ring IQ, and experience, having faced elite opposition for years and learned how to adapt under pressure.
Do that means that the weight was probably an issue. Now, if Keyshawn comes up, or if they even do a catch weight, a 143, 144, it's going to be a very interesting fight because I think Devin has more tools and more IQ right now, but Keyshawn is different. So when you got a guy that's different, and that's why I also said that he's not just back, he's different. You understand me? So when you got a guy that has that intangibleness about him, where he can be a different guy when it's time to be a different guy, you can never count him out. However, if I were pushing Keyshawn, I would have another fight or two before I fight Devin, just for experience purposes. And if I was Devin, I would try to jump on it right now before he gets those couple fights, because the more experience he gets, the harder he's going to become to beat.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough fight, for Keyshawn Davis. And I think in many respects, Devin Haney too. You can't take Keyshawn Davis light. He can.
However, Roy emphasizes that Keyshawn brings something different and unpredictable, which cannot be measured by stats alone. He describes Keyshawn as a fighter with intangibles, someone who can suddenly change rhythm, energy, and style when the moment demands it. That uniqueness makes him dangerous, even against a seasoned champion like Devin. Roy believes no opponent should ever underestimate a talent like that. Strategically, he advises patience for Keyshawn, recommending another fight or two to gain more seasoning before taking such a risky challenge. At the same time, he suggests Devin should act quickly if the fight interests him, because extra experience will only make Keyshawn harder to beat. Ultimately, Roy calls it a tough fight for both men, but one that could elevate careers and prove true greatness.
Weight difference is a concern, and it's a fair question. Is he ready now? Is he ready a fight or two from now? But that's the fight, really. If you really want to scream, I'm back. That's the type of fight that you want, because obviously it's in the Turkey Al-Sheikh universe, and that's a fight that's going to get made. You're going to make a career high payday. But if you are able to beat Devin Haney, brother, when I say the sky's the limit, the sky is the limit. But that ain't going to be no easy pickings for both guys. The weight is a concern, but I would love to.
Shakur Stevenson remains one of the most technically gifted fighters in boxing today, and the prospect of him facing Conor Bennett has analysts intrigued, even though the fight hasn't been finalized yet. Observers note that Shakur's performances against previous opponents often seem effortless, as if he isn't operating at full capacity. In several bouts, he appears to cruise in second or third gear, reading punches with uncanny precision and anticipating his opponent's every move. This level of awareness makes him a nightmare for most fighters, as he can neutralize attacks before they fully develop.
There's no way that was Shakur Stevenson fighting at 100%. He was in second, third, maybe. He wasn't flat out, pedal to the metal, trying to get this guy out of there. That was him fighting comfortably. Which begs the question why Conor Ben is like, yeah, make the fight next, make it next. I'm like, are you sure? And look, I'm trying to rack my brains as to what kind of fighter could give Shakur Stevenson problems. For one, I think Shakur really judges the way people throw punches unbelievably well. Every little twitch he is absolutely aware of, and he is predicting your every second in that fight. So you got to be unpredictable, right? You got to feint a lot. Now, Conor Ben does feint a lot. To be fair, he did a lot of that against Chris Eubank Jr. I thought Teofimo Lopez headhunted too much, and he didn't have a lot of power on his body shots when he did throw them. So I think you got to mix the shots up. You got to have good body punches. You got to put power into them.
Conor Bennett, however, presents a different challenge. Analysts argue that he possesses qualities that could test Shakur in ways others haven't. His power, especially in body shots, combined with effective feinting, may force Shakur to adjust. Unlike opponents like Teofimo Lopez, who lacked the tools to challenge Shakur's speed and technical skill, Bennett's mix of power, unpredictability, and tactical movement could create openings. At the same time, comparisons to Ryan Garcia highlight the complexities of matchmaking in this division. While Garcia has shown flashes of dominance, inconsistency has held him back, raising questions about the best path forward for both fighters. Ultimately, analysts agree that Shakur's mastery means opponents must be not only strong but also strategically creative to pose a real threat.
Too strong for him, he wasn't too quick for me. When someone's that technically gifted, you're going to need something to equalize it. You could argue Conor Benn is going to hit harder than Shakur Stevenson. I think that stands to reason, he does. So maybe, and I'm just, before people think that this is what I think is going to be the reason for why Conor Benn wins the fight, just calm down in the comments before you get on my case. But I'm just trying to like go there and think, what are you saying? Because right now, most fighters should be saying, I'm gonna stay the fuck away from Shakur Stevenson. But let's take a look at Ryan Garcia as a potential opponent for Conor Benn and figure out which direction he really should go in here. Obviously, we all remember the Devin Haney fight where he rocked Devin Haney constantly throughout that fight. But the fight after that was a million miles away from that performance. I honestly don't know what the was up with Ryan Garcia in this fight. He was tentative, he got dropped in the...
Analysts and insiders in boxing have weighed in on Shakur Stevenson's situation after being stripped of his WBC 135 pounds title, highlighting both his exceptional skills and his ambition for unification bouts. Stevenson has consistently demonstrated an extraordinary ability to read opponents, anticipate punches, and control the pace of fights. Observers note that even in his more relaxed performances, he operates with precision, rarely needing to exert full effort. This level of mastery makes him a highly sought-after opponent for anyone looking to make a statement in the division.
Final hurdle to a big fight, but this is a big hurdle. Telling you, remember I said it, this is a big, I might even do a separate video on this. Because again, I think a lot of people maybe don't know, Figueroa has come from boxing stock. This guy's been doing it a while, he's not damaged goods, and again, he's only lost to Stephen Fulton. Do you know what I mean? And look at some of the names I read off that he's beaten. Experienced names, guys that have fought other guys that were good fights. It's not easy. All right, Shakur Stevenson, blast WBC and responds to being stripped of a 135-pound title. This is a bit wild. It's a bit wild, and the reason it's a bit wild, so many different reasons actually, but one of the biggest reasons is that Shakur has always said, I want to go up to fight Teo, but I want to come back down to 135. So basically, he's almost telling the WBC, let me go up there, I will come back.
The WBC's decision to strip him of the title has sparked debate, as Stevenson had clearly intended to move up in weight for bigger challenges while planning to return to 135 pounds. The sanctioning body, citing Rule 7.3, required him to pay a 50% sanctioning fee even when the belt wasn't on the line, a point many consider unreasonable. Analysts suggest that this bureaucratic approach clashes with Stevenson's drive for high-profile fights, adding tension between the fighter and the organization. Despite the controversy, Stevenson remains focused on meaningful matchups. Names like Josh Kelly, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and Rolly Romero have all been mentioned as potential opponents, highlighting his goal of unification and career-defining bouts. Experts agree that his skill set, combined with strategic fight choices, keeps him at the forefront of boxing's elite.
WBC are going through right now, and this battle with Zuffa, where, you know, they've got some real big players and power over there, and they're saying F the belts, and WBC are fighting, saying none of the belts mean stuff. The last thing you want to do is have a public spat, a public back and forth with one of the biggest names in boxing right now. Shakur Stevenson is one of the biggest names in boxing, and the thing about Shakur as well, you piss him off, this guy will go straight to social media and make it known that he's pissed off, and that's what he's done. He's made it known what the WBC are wanting, or wanted for him, or from him, sorry, which was $100,000. Now, a lot of you might say, well, one second, his last fight wasn't for the WBC, it was for the WBO and the ring title. Why did the WBC want any money from him? The WBC have a clause, I think it's either 7.3 or 7.4, yeah, where even if you do not fight for the WBC belt, if you're a champion of their belt, i.e. which Shakur Stevenson was, you have to pay 50% of the sanctioning fee as though the WBC belt was